You get imposter syndrome in the UK.
Yeah, sometimes, like, look at the way I dress, bro. Like, even though, like, everything has led up to, like, how I dress or how I carry myself and everything.
Yeah.
But there is a bit of a, for me, and I will not generalize, for me as a person, I feel like there's just, like, there's a missing link sometimes.
I can even remember how to spell it. It's like Ndinokuda ne moyo wangu wese, which means like.
I don't know if it's right. If you said, please
try it.
if you said it in.
If you have any listeners out there that speak Shona, send them.
If he didn't, please cancel. Tell him to stop. Just tell him no more languages for you. Stick to your white heritage, please.
Are you ready?
Yeah. I realize I have no swag.
So, what was the was there an agenda for today, or is it agenda neutral?
It is always agenda neutral when we're in the lane.
I mean, you said you went to that party last night.
Yeah.
Was it last night or the day before?
Last night.
So what was that? Was that agenda? What was the agenda? What was the agenda there?
The agenda there, I thought it was like, you know, hanging with the homies,
Yeah.
hanging with, you know, potential friends, which it was. Obviously, they're all lovely people that were there. But I came up with a mindset of, yeah, just this, like, you know, goof around, maybe like, you know, talk maybe some politics and stuff. Nah, no one's ready. You know when you're the only one at the party just going hard on topics like, I can't believe this, and then it's just like, in my head I'm like,
Did you do Kobe Wobies? Did you do COVID?
I don't know. We never touched it.
Okay.
Like everyone there, like it was so sick because that was the first time, apart from like going to like black events with my parents. Like I went and I hung around black girls,
Yeah.
and they were like majority. I think they were all queer.
Okay.
I think they were all queer.
It was like Rainbow Squad.
Yeah,
Fiesta.
and he was mind blowing, bro. It was like at first I was like, yeah, like people like trying to. I mean, I wanted to have discussions with people. That's why I went there. I like to see people and talk to them.
Yeah.
But obviously, like there's a time and place, chill.
What did you hit them with that knocked them off the podium?
No, it's kind of a, I don't know, maybe just me, just judging myself.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're your worst critic, so it's just like, for me, if I was in a party that I just want to chill, and someone is just like talking about like political climate and you know how people's mindsets sometimes can be quite like victim based. Then okay, yes, I'm a victim. I know I'm a victim, but okay, how do I go forward? And that was like, that's kind of my mindset right now. And I'm like, okay, I know that there's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of stuff that I can't really help.
Yeah.
But with the thing that's within my power, how can I improve that?
Yeah.
How can I make that better? And that's what I was trying to get at. But obviously, like talking to other people, I was like, oh, I get your mindset. I get where you're coming from. I get how people will think. But yeah, it was quite educational. And then we went to the event, and the event was mad. There was loads of people. There was loads of bundas. There was loads of fine, gorgeous, melanated people. And I literally just stood there with my stick ass figure. I was just like, I was just loving myself, bro. But you know, I can't whine for shit. I wish I could. Mother, this message goes out to you. Why did you sit me down as a child and say, this is how to twerk?
I think that's an essential skill for the 21st gen.
Oh yeah. Nah, not really. I think it depends on where you're from. Like for example, your sister, like she loves the fact that, you know, belly dancing is in your native
23andMe upwards.
is in your mixed kebab, you know, heritage, and she likes to hold on to that and just twerk around, which is great. And she knows how to twerk. For me, I don't like to shake my ass. I don't want people to know that I even have a butt. Don't even think about where I ship from, because you don't want to know. I don't got one. I'm flat on purpose. Like I have a butt, but Jesus, you don't understand. I did all the exercise not to have a butt.
What's that, like laying on the front, like sleeping on your chest or something?
If I could do that for my boobs.
You like open drawers like 12 times a day.
with
like always
with my
open.
butt and just like tightening it, like, hey, go back in.
Any opportunity to open a drawer, you're there, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone needs a fork, spoon, whatever. But that's interesting, man. So
Why are you Farmer Joe?
I don't know, because you know what it is? Because I realised last time we were here, I sat in that and I had the super comfy dumpy position. And because my bumpy was so comfy, I didn't feel as like weird. But like now I was realised that I'm trying to have a facial contact with the camera, which made me realise now on podcasts they must actually premeditate this. Where they put the camera, because if I look at you, I'm not looking at that, and then I realise if I just look at you the whole time, then I'm completely visually disconnected from my millions of spectators.
I like your gorgeous side view, babe.
Well, actually, like, I look better from the front, and I think
I look better I found out yesterday that I look better from the back.
So what do you reckon you should do? Do you reckon you should sit like dead on with it, or just stare at each other till you get neck cramps, or like sit in the most comfortable, comfy, optimal position, like such?
I think you should go with what your old body tells you to do.
That's why I was twiddling my fingers with this
Yeah.
leaf, man, because I was feeling an anxious Annie and a stressy Jessie was getting into my soul and telling me, look, you're a little beta male, you don't even know how to do a podcast.
Yo, like, I like to sit like a freaking, like, okay, let's have a conversation. Let's have a
This
conversation.
is so comfy though, like that, out of my head.
You're just there, you're like, yeah, I just want to chill in the sauna.
Mate, sauna would be nice now, to be honest.
I just want the sun to come out again. That was a sauna.
It was quite nice.
That's
So
what it was.
there's no topics for these. Are you ever going to put topics in it or not?
Like the one I did with Amina, that
Yeah.
had like certain topics, but it was more like a broad kind of conversation. Yeah, I might do topics that it's like if there's a topic I want to talk about with
Yeah.
someone that in particular, yeah, I'll have a conversation with them if they've given the okay and the consent. Apart from that, yeah, I just like to chat about shit.
I like the fact that like, you know, if it gets like really topical, like, I did have cocoa butter in my bag.
Oh my
So if you need to put some like topical ointments, like I'm here. But obviously sunshine isn't very powerful at the moment, given that we are in northern England, aka redemption land. I think the UK, right? The UK needs to seek redemption because there's damage so many places in the world. I insincerely believe through conspiracy and superstition that the UK was cursed for all the places that it invaded, and now it suffers the eternal wretched curse of a shitty climate.
I think it's the other way around.
Do you think?
I think the weather made them go to find better land, but then they realized they can't survive that long in that better land, so they were like, we'll just own it for the sake of it. You know, they
there's
have
so many British territories.
They have
The
a lot.
Commonwealth region.
Like the whole of the majority of like countries in Africa, Asia, they did their thing.
Yeah.
They did their thing, but that's just beside the point.
Why do you think Boris Johnson was running to the Caribbean? Why do you think he was trying to flick his wife's bean in the Caribbean?
Because he owns part of it. It's
But
his motherland.
also, it's nice weather, isn't it? Like, it's a nice place to go for like
But
landscape.
he won't be under the sun. He'll be under the shades.
Do you reckon?
He'll be under the shades.
Do you reckon he's not going to come back with a thick tan?
Nah,
A
he'll
thick
be.
movie?
I think the only thing that'll get tanned is his hair. So
Do you reckon you could be a gangster?
me.
Yeah.
No, I'll rat myself. I'm a Gemini. I talk too much. The police is there, and I will accidentally tell them my deal. I'll be like, yo, yeah, man, like, yeah, we totally did that. Or I'll just say it to just be hard, and then they're like, yeah, you're going to jail.
Hey, some people post on Instagram now.
Oh yeah.
I know criminalities that
Everyone is
literally
scamming
post-
themselves.
It's like, it's weird, isn't it? It's like you're not only stitching on yourself, but you're literally providing the evidence to support the case against you, which is an insanity, really.
It's so brilliant. It's like, I think with those people, they don't even bother to even go after them. They'll
Yeah.
be like, you will end up turning yourself in for the clout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, free Jeff. He did murder someone and film it, and handed himself into the police police free him. He was honest. At least he was honest about it.
To be honest, I've seen stuff like that a lot from, like, there's some people that I follow on Instagram, and they kind of like, I don't know, like I would say they're like affiliate with the drill music. Like they make some songs and stuff where they talk about hurting people, and then they get like they actually have like those kind of cases where in the bios they put, not the bio, but you know the description, they're like free blah 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 X like name.
Yeah.
But then they literally talked about how they like did an operation with them.
Yeah.
And like rob people or like, you know, sold drugs or something. It's like, bro, you're actually snitching on him as well. Like he's probably behind bars getting him for a couple of years now.
Yeah. When he comes out and he's 50, he'll come for you.
But I'm scared though, because I told you about, I'm not even going to mention him because if he ever sees this, which he probably will because it's going to be the most popular thing to listen to in your grandma's basement.
Your grandma?
And he's fucking mental now. Like there's people out there chopping people's heads off. What about a genre? Are you genre neutral?
Like
you listen
with
to all
music.
types of music, yeah.
Yeah, I'm that person. I have no allegiance only to my country, and that in fact I have no allegiance apart only to my family and my culture.
What do you think? What would you say the difference between the country and the culture?
Because I am from there's so many tribes in my country,
Yeah.
so and culture and traditions. So even in my culture, the different tribes there are different traditions there. So even in that, it's just like I am actually gender neutral in that too. It's like I just try to stay in the center. Like if I can understand both sides and you know pick the most progressive and the most positive side that would benefit everyone and myself, then I'm all go for that shit. But if it's something that is like hindering people from going forward and it's ending up hindering me, because I want to be around like loads of people from my culture and I want to be around like also a lot of black people. I know I'm not going to get along with all of them, but I want to be able to still be able to stay in a room and chill and not think that, oh yeah, you know, shit will go south, you get what I mean? Because that's what has been put there for us, like for us not to trust each other. So it's like I want to break down those, I want to try and help break down those stereotypes and those things that are just not necessary. Like we don't need these stereotypes, and we know the stereotypes are false, and we keep saying those stereotypes are false, but because it's so in your head, you need to snap out of it all the time, you get what I mean? It's like being like, sometimes, like I was thinking the other day, I was like, oh, I'm actually more comfortable around white people because I feel like empowered.
Yeah.
But then when I'm around black people, I don't know how to feel. Like I don't.
Why do you think that's the case?
Because I don't think I've hung around a bunch of black people.
Yeah.
For me to know how to understand the situation or to even connect with them. Like I know I connect with them and I know that I can have a conversation with a black person. However, I second guess myself.
That's interesting, man. What about in Nigeria though?
Well, I haven't been to Nigeria in a long time, so like.
Oh, okay, so you're mad young.
It's not like I second guess myself, like, oh no, I'm not saying the right thing. I will say what I have to say, but I don't want, like, as much as I will say and I will stand by what I say and I'll defend like my opinions. However, I still don't want you to think that I'm a bad person for having such strong opinions. And I mean, sometimes I'll say stuff like I will always say, oh, the black race is the best race. Like no hate to any other race, but it's just I'm black. That's all I know. I think I'm like our race is the best. We're strong. We're clever people. Like throughout all the odds in society, we are
There's
still.
a good wonder too.
Like look, all the trends out there, we started it.
That's true, to be fair.
Like
a large amount of cases, it is
exactly.
true. Like the dance culture, the music culture.
Like entertainment, we are like the forefront. But
why do you think that's the case though?
When we keep giving, that's what we do. We love to give. We will give and give and give. But for the places that it matters for us to actually give, I feel that we're not giving in those areas, or it's lacking in those areas. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't help people. I'm just saying sometimes you just have to put your foot down. You can't throw your energy everywhere. Or like now everyone's like, oh, self-awareness. That is true. It means like what it means. Be self-aware. Like you can't keep exhausting yourself helping everyone else's cause. Maybe it's just my opinion. What do you think about that, like in that aspect?
I don't know, because I always find it interesting, because I listen to a lot of comedians from like all over, mostly American ones to be fair, and like some of them are black, some of them are white, and they all like have like interesting opinions, because I feel like the stereotypes that they talk about are kind of like, they're quite broad, but they're also relevant to them groups they're talking about. So like for example, if I don't know, like Dave Chappelle is talking about white people, it's like a specific kind of demographic. And then also the reverse, like when Chris Rock is talking about black people, I feel like it's a specific demographic. Because would you say that like Italian like white people and white people from like Germany are the same? Like would you say like Somalia and like Jamaican are the same?
We're all different. That's why at the beginning I said the only loyalty I have is to my family and to my culture. Like I want to improve those things. Those are the things that I know that I myself can help out in. Like the rest, like or like racism or the rest is so broad. Like if you go into it, you have to take into account history, you know, politics, economy, social issues, different cultures, different mindsets, different ways of assimilation between. It's too much. I mean, like I said, I can only give an advice and throw it out there, like a general advice, and say, oh, can we do this? And then if the people that are like down with my idea goes, yeah, let's all do it, let's give it a shout. I mean, yeah, let's do it. But at the end of the day, if it boils down to it, the only people I know that I know much about is my family and my culture.
What would you say is your culture, like, if you were to nuance it down?
I don't know. Well, I grew up like majority of my life here, so it's kind of like weird because I don't even see this as my culture. I'm a guest in this country, so I don't say much. I will always say I'm a Nigerian. I'm from Igbo. I am an Igbo girl. I'm from Enugu State. I am from Udi local government, and that's my hometown. I've been there. I am so happy that I remember being there. I remember seeing my grandma and my cousins and everything. Like I have that. So, I mean, I do feel a little bit displaced. Like
you get imposter syndrome in the UK.
Yeah, sometimes. Like look at the way I dress, bro. Like even though like everything has led up to like how I dress or how I carry myself and everything. Yeah. But there is a bit of a, for me, and I will not generalize, for me as a person, I feel like there's a missing link sometimes. Like, I mean, I can be confident, I can go talk to people, I can make friends, but sometimes it's just lacking. The connection is just lacking, and it sucks because it's like, I really, really want to connect and just like have fun and just like be myself or something. But bro, it might be it's so many things. But I also think that for me as a person, I want that connection. I want more of that connection to like my black side, because as much as I'm a black girl in the UK, I mean, how many black communities do you see that's out there? And it's like there's not that much. They're more, you have to go find them. You get what I mean? You just don't open your door and you just see like a black community. You get what I mean?
Would you go like link up with would you specific, because you know, for example, like my friends here that are like Arabs, for example, like it seems, and this is the interesting thing about religion as well, is like I noticed that there is some segregation anyways, but they don't seem to like hate each other, because you know how in like Egypt and Sudan or whatever, Syria for example, all these other places, there's like there's every race, like it's like omni-racial people really, because just everyone's there. And I asked my friend, because he's like, I don't know, I think he identifies himself as an Arab, to be honest, but like like to me he looks the same as someone that's from like I don't know, like Senegal or like Nigeria or something.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, like it's interesting because like the religion seems to tie these people together.
Yeah.
And in the UK that doesn't exist now because, you know, obviously so many different faiths and it's quite a lot agnostic or atheist, which I'm down with, to be honest, because I think like I'll probably say I'd be agnostic if anything. But
explain what agnostic is for people that doesn't know.
agnostic is like a gynecologist but for men, and basically like, so I'm agnostic, I would say. But I do find it interesting how the religion would tie them together, because you say like even in Nigeria, that's what I was asking you and Idris, shout out Idris for telling me as well, the guy from Hausa, because when I met him he was speaking like Arabic and also I guess some other languages, and then you know tied to so many different cultures. And then I met these other two guys in the hostel that I was in. They were also from Nigeria, but I think they were from Lagos. And it's very like different attitude, different like culture. It seemed as well. I thought, oh, that's interesting. So like, whether it's race or the culture that ties you together, I guess it's easier to find people of the same race but you have to like there's way less races than there are cultures.
Yeah.
But would you look for people of the same race, like to connect, or would you look for people? Because for example, like, even in the UK, I feel like an imposter, and it's definitely not a race thing because I'm a cute little white boy, like more or less, anyways. Like 19, I'm like, I'm blending in beautifully, anyways. So like, in terms of like blending in physically, I can blend in physically easily, but in terms of like culturally, I don't even feel, and I'm definitely not Turkish boy either. Although I've got like half, but like I'm not full. I'm not even. I'm not even Turkey, and I want to learn the language. I want to learn the culture. I want to go to Turkey and understand more. But I don't feel Turkish or English. I also don't feel connected to like to my let's say race. So for example, being like cute white boy or perhaps being Eurasian, if that's a thing. I don't know. Like I don't feel connected to any of them things. I just feel connected to like, I would say culture, but like a meta culture. And I don't know like because.
In what sense?
Well, like for example, the salsa community here. I really enjoy being a part of the community. And the like hip hop community. I really enjoy the hip hop community.
So
like I enjoy these communities.
With you, culture is like with your hobby, like the things
Kind
that
of,
you do.
but they're also dominated by certain types of people. Because for example, like hip hop music is obviously like mostly like migrants and like descendants into like the black culture of the US, and then obviously like specific areas even, to be fair. And then in terms of like salsa, again it's like large like Latino, Afro-Latino influence. So both parts of the world that I'm completely dissociated from, but through the same activity we're able to connect. Like I can meet people that are into like rap or dancing or like salsa or something and connect with them. And I find that to me, it doesn't matter where they're from, where I'm from, it's like there's a thing that ties us together culturally. Even though like they might feel like an imposter in like wherever they are, like someone like Puerto Rico or something, or Cuba, they might want to get away from Cuba. And I'm learning their dance and trying to talk to these people in Cuba to understand their culture more. And they're like, I just want to come and do a Weatherspoons. Like, I want to do Weatherspoons, baby.
Nah, I do understand that. It's like, that's why, like for me, and I just, like I get, like, not being around, like, mostly black people. Like, it's a little bit, for me, it's weird because obviously I want more black friends because I want to be around black people. Like they're human beings. You know what I mean?
But the race are like the Igbos, for example. Like, if you found an Igbo community, like, would you rather do that, or would you rather like Somalia do, for example?
Yes, like if I met this Igbo girl in the party yesterday.
Was she fun?
Huh?
Was she fun?
Shut up.
Was she fun?
Obviously, she's an Igbo girl. She was tall, beautiful, like. She was doing her thing, and then we saw. I met another like half Yoruba and half British girl, and they were sick. Like, regardless, like with the Igbo girl, like I just wanted to have a conversation with her because like she was saying stuff that I have gone through, like, and it was just like yes, I want a community. Not like of people that were just like, oh yeah, I've gone through this, but I've gone through this. Like, after sharing the story, we take the time to actually like learn our culture, Igbo dances, like traditional clothes, like even talking about the politics, because I feel like that's how the world in general, this how like certain cultures have been starved of like themselves, especially with the younger generation. Like we keep starving ourselves because we want to assimilate better in a culture like that we're foreign to. Like in Nigeria, we're taught to speak English. Like I would say, like English is more or less my first language. Then it will go to Igbo, which is a shame because my parents can speak Igbo like fluently and laugh and chill with friends speaking Igbo, but none of the kids can speak it as fluent as they can. And that's such a shame because how many Igbo like parents can actually say, yeah, you can have a full-blown conversation with my kids? And it's like I'm like jealous of like little like Indian kids or Pakistani kids or even Spanish kids that are spitting out their language. I'm not saying that, you know, oh, shame on my parents or whatever. Like they did what they thought that was the best thing that they had to do. But that mentality of saying that your own is less than needs to stop. We need to stop saying, oh, what we have is less than. Like you said, you want to go to Turkey and learn the language and talk with the people and explore, but it's still not going to stop you from going to learn Cuban or do salsa. Like it's just different things. Like, but you also put your own there. You know what, like where you come from there. But it's just something I just realized, and I'm like, it's a shame that I don't have that mother tongue because you know the hot Doritos, right? I know it's not like hot, but like sometimes the dust can be quite tingly on the top. And I tried to explain that, and everyone was just like, I know it was a joke, but everyone was just like, nah. And I just looked at you and I was like, shit, what the fuck? But it's just like, it was so funny for me because like, for me, I'm like, yeah, sometimes, like, I don't really do chili. Like, I'm not that kind of person that just...
Chili heat wave.
Exactly.
Is it chili heat wave?
You know, it's just the red one. Chili heat wave, that's not Doritos, that's
Is it not?
No.
What's that? Is that a beverage?
No, chili heat wave is it's like Walker's, isn't it?
Is it? Which one's the chili? Is it Tex-Mex or something?
No, that is Doritos, chili heat wave. Yeah, but I know it's not hot, but it does tingle my tongue sometimes when I'm not like...
So what is that though? Is that like a sign of weakness if you get like... Bro, if you get diminished by a Dorito, no. Is that like a sign of weakness?
That's when I knew. I was like, the fact that they could not... They were just like, what? Like, what? And I'm just like, shit, like, bruh.
But why is that though? You expected to have some like tolerance to spicy stuff?
No, like, obviously, if you grew up, like, eating loads of spicy stuff, you will have a tolerance to it, but I'm not saying that, for me, from being a child, like, I did like spicy stuff, but for me, spicy is flavor. It's not just eating. Yeah, I don't want to die from heat. I don't like when my mom will cook and put spice in it, but I would eat. It makes me, like, just take my time with the food. Like,
I actually love spicy food, man. Like literally, I in the UK, I miss, like, I don't miss because I'm never in a culture where I could always have access to it, but I long for it. When I have had Mexican friends, they brought me their food, and I have Mexican food by the Mexicanos and the Indians as well. Shout out Indian food, probably my favorite food on the planet, to be honest. And when you get like proper spicy, when an Indian person gives you some spicy food or a Mexican person gives you some spicy food, like, I actually love it because it's such a sensation with the food.
I'm weak,
that,
bro. I don't.
But I love it so much. Like, obviously, not to like a masochistic level, like not just eating raw chilies and stuff. Like, I'm not messing about with that stuff. But in terms of like in the Mexican treats, they have like lollipops, like chupa chups. Well, chupa chup is a Spanish term anyway, because chupar means to suck. So it's like so, but basically, I suck a chupa chup.
Yeah.
Like and like the chupa chup has spice on it, so it's like it's literally a spice. It's not even a sweet chupa chup; it's a spicy chupa chup. I don't know what they put on it, but it's like it's some like chili flavored chupa chup.
It's like I saw chili flavored chocolate, and I was like,
I love that as well.
Why?
It's so nice, man. Actually, I didn't used to rate chili chocolate, but chili chocolate is so nice.
Nah, I'm too particular. To be honest, like I said in the other video, I am a picky eater. So with the spicy food, I do apologize. I would try my best to eat more spicy food, but I cannot I cannot guarantee that my asshole will not burst out in flames. So for my own health, please, like, be a little bit merciful. Like, thank you. But I know that Doritos is not spicy, but it does tingle my tongue.
Tingles your tongue, then you cough. But the only thing, the only thing that I feel like with the cultural stuff, like I just like the flavor, man. I love, like, for me it's never been like, I've never felt this, like, I don't understand it because obviously, like, maybe there's a reason I don't understand it because I haven't been unfortunate in these cases. Like, obviously I'm a cute little white boy, I blended in perfectly. Yeah, I'm a handsome young male, but like I might not have necessarily thank you, I might not have necessarily suffered enough to actually like feel, you know, like when people push you out of a group, like it's natural that you resonate more like with a group that accepts you, is similar to you. And like, because I've always been like such a fucking like dweeby outlier virgin, like I don't think I've ever had space to be in any group. So like literally like, you know what I mean, like my name is Omer, so like I no one has been nasty about that, like no one has been like racist against my name.
You're just like self-conscious about it.
But like I've always felt like I didn't fit in with like Steve and Dave watching the football, and then obviously like I don't fit in with any cultures. Like everyone that I went to, like in college, most of my friends were like Polish and Africans. And then like like I didn't really grow up around them either because we were only friends for like a few years. You know, I was in college. And then only when I went to uni I started making like like white English friends. And that was the first time. Oh shit! Like it was interesting for me because I experienced a bunch of different cultures as a teenager, and I wasn't really like a part of any of them. So all I saw them as was like adding flavor to my dynamic. Because the people from like, I don't know, like wherever they were from, like Liberia or something, like or like Yemen, for example. Like they showed me one thing that they did, and the things that I didn't like for example, like might not have liked how like patriarchal some of the cultures were. Or like the way that they like couldn't show vulnerability, because like even with the Tex-Mex or chili thing, like if you're choking on paprika, like you're a little bitch basically, and I didn't like that, so I got rid of the things I didn't like, and I stole the habits that I thought were cool, which is the definition of cultural appropriation. I absolutely like,
bro, my whole life is cultural appropriation. I feel like I'm a fraud to my own culture because I just take the stuff that I like, and then the rest I'm like, that.
But then there's no hate. Like you can't hate. You can't, because like for example, I'm not gonna copy certain things from cultures that I think are like weird. I base it off of metrics. So like there's certain things that I might not say. Like for example, even when people say to me like wagwan or whatever. Like for me, I feel cliche saying that. I feel cringy if I say that. So I don't want to feel cringy. So rare would be the occasion that I would say to someone wag 2, -1. But in reality, I can judge that because I can judge it because maybe like I see how people use it in the context they use it and like what the setting is behind it, and I say okay, that's not for me, and then I'll admit it, and I'll take like something else that might be cute to use in a certain circumstance, and I'll adopt that. And I see like, okay, through this cultural appropriation, I'm trying to learn the innards of each culture, and I'm actually respectfully analysing and breaking down the culture and trying to seek more and more knowledge to understand how I can use it, to leverage it, to communicate with these people and connect. Like if I meet someone from, like Hungary, what can I say to them? I only know like one phrase. Well, give me some.
I'm so sorry.
But like, if I know one phrase in Hungarian, which was like "Agisha Gedra," which my Hungarian friend taught us when we were in Hungary. And it just means like cheers, basically. So like if you're drinking with someone who's Hungarian, or you're in a bar or somewhere, you pass them some water, whatever the circumstance, like that could instantly form a connection. And there's certain things like,
and then they find out that you're a fraud.
Then they know I'm a Sigmund fraud, and that's it. It's game over. But I do feel like growing up in an environments plural that enable me to be such an outlier that I couldn't identify with one place has actually pushed me into a place where now I don't see, like, the tribal languages, for example. I think it's great that they exist, and I think the languages in the UK, like Gaelic, like the Irish Gaelic, or like Welsh or Scottish, and even there's ones like, there was one in Northern England, and then there's one in like, the one in Cornwall, like the sort of Cornish language, if you will. But there was also one in Northern England, like years and years ago. And all these like old ancient languages, I think it would be so cool for them to still exist. Like now, if they do, it will be a bit artificial because it'll be a resurrection, like the language revival. But in terms of like if there's a few native speakers left, I think that every language deserves to thrive, because it's not necessarily that like I would be I want to go identify with them, but it's like this is the world that we share. Like we're all part of this unity in this world, and like if I go to like Kenya or fucking like India or wherever, I want to connect with the people there and like feel some connection to them, and knowing a little bit of the language, I would say like 9 out of 10 times has resulted in benefit for me. Only one time like where I got rejected. Like one time I got rejected.
Story time.
But like the only one time, like literally 99% of the time that I have learned something, like it's resulted in like a phenomenal instant connection.
I do understand where you're coming from. With the appreciating someone's culture. Like with me, I've given up with English at this point because I've always spoken English, and I'm like, I want to be challenged. Challenged in a way that I feel like with language, it opens so many other sides of your brain. Because if you can speak more than one language, that means that you're opening yourself, like you said, to more opportunities to converse with someone. Like language is such a beautiful thing. You can do anything with language. You can sing. Like there are gestures in languages that you don't have to say.
Exactly.
You know, like when you have the culture there, and languages are just beautiful. Like whether it's aggressive, whether it's soft, whether it's sexy, whatever it is, it's just beautiful. I love when I hear people not speaking English, and it's not like I have anything against English. English now is just basic. Even English people don't even know how to speak English at this point.
Aubergine with a capital O. Aubergine. Aubergine. Aubergine.
It's so weird. Every time you say aubergine, I think of orangutan.
Wait, that's with the AURANGOTAN.
Because the girl says with the capital O. So I'm like...
I know what you mean though, because English isn't a novelty to you if you speak it all the time, and I think that's why like I don't want to fall into this trap of like, obviously if I go to Turkey I'm gonna be a cute little white English boy with a sweet passport, and in the UK I'm gonna be a cute little Turkish exotic boy with shit eyebrows. But the thing is, like, either way I don't want to fall into the trap of like believing that I don't want to fall into the trap of like trying to make myself different just to be a novelty. But with English, like obviously we live in England, and we're speaking a lot with English speakers, so it's lost the novelty and the challenge, the stimulation. But like I love learning a random phrase in another language, and some people will dislike it. But like for example, there was a girl at the bar at Cubanas years ago when I was going to that shitty college over there, Castle College, City College. There was a kid there from Zimbabwe, and there was a girl there as well. And I wasn't really like trying to flirt with the girl or anything. Like we just talked shit like in the hallway. No, we didn't flirt. We just talked shit basically. Like when I saw her, because we were in the same class for a bit. And then this guy told me how to say something like really cheesy, which is "I love you with all my heart." And I remember, like, I think I asked him to say like, "How do you say I love you?" And he was just like, he told me that, and then it translated to like, "I love you with all my heart." And I remember saying that to the girl, and she laughed like blah blah blah. So that's already like a like a human connection. And then in Cubanas, the bar I was working recently, there was a woman there from Zimbabwe, and she said to me, we were talking about like with some people, and she said, "Oh, I know like one phrase in the Shona language, because obviously there's a bunch of languages, and the Shona is the one that he told me the phrase in." And I said it to her, and she was just like, she was fucking wooed, man.
What's the phrase?
It's like I can even remember how to spell it. It's like "Ndinokuda ne moyo wangu wese," which means like,
I don't know if it's right. If you said, please
try it.
If you said it in.
If you have any listeners out there that speak Shona, send them.
If he didn't, please cancel. Tell him to stop. Just tell him no more languages for you. Stick to your white heritage, please.
No, but even my Spanish friend, when I was learning Spanish, and literally I need to shout out Ruben, because I think Ruben was honestly one of the opening gateways, the reservoir for me to enter into the body of Castilian Spanish, because he taught me one phrase that was a game changer, and it was literally just "saludos terrícolas," and terrícola is like a cute way of saying earthling, like an earth inhabitant, but it's like, it's a cute way that only really a native would use. So for me to say it, it's like when you hear Polish people going like "topal," like "cheers duck," "cheers love," and it just sounds fun, man. It's like they've adopted a level
days.
of the
Yeah.
culture that like shows that they're willing to humiliate themselves, and I think that's what it is. Like, if you're willing to learn that other language, or
Just
even
that
like your own
little
language,
innuendos between like the people. Is it innuendos the word? I really sat myself down. I was like, because I wanted to learn Portuguese, and I was doing the Portuguese course. Don't ask me to say anything because I will butcher the language. I already
Português,
butchered English. I was like, you know what? Before I start investing my time in other people's language, let me learn mine first. Like, I want to get into the habit of speaking something else other than English.
Yeah.
Throwing it in there. And that's why, like you said, would you like to be around black people or people of your culture? As much as I want to be around loads of black people, I think that for right now, I need to focus on people like with my culture, especially if possible from where I am from in Igbo, because Igbo has so many dialects, like so many other language has different dialects. Like yours is specific to your tribe.
Yeah.
So that's how your tribesmen will identify you if you're somewhere else. If you use a certain, instead of that, there's a generic Igbo, and then how people now differentiate is like, oh, you're a real Igbo girl when you start using those dialects.
Do you reckon you ever fit in though? Do you reckon you ever fit in?
That's my prayer. Like it's not like I'm trying to fit in, but I want to be able to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Look at how colonization happened.
Yeah.
Right? They got people that will go into those places.
Is that the guy that
and
started
learn.
KFC? Colonialization. It's like franchise, the big franchise, chicken franchise. Or is that what?
No,
Doesn't know.
colonization, just in general. Like.
Oh, okay. What do you mean? It's like, I'm curious because it's like, I know too, like the kernel from KFC and the colonization, like bacteria in the petri dish, like when you put something in the petri dish and it grows.
It's known. Well, people call white colonization when, like, Britain and stuff went to other countries and
Just
took over the land.
Started juicing every part of the world, basically.
So,
it's fucked up, actually.
Before the whole massive thing happened, there were some people. I mean, during that time, people sent researchers to go learn the language and assimilate with the people.
Yeah.
And when that happened, those people had to learn the language to communicate with the people, to know their strengths and weaknesses, to break that, to be a friend in it, be a false friend, and then report back.
And then invade.
So,
bro, it's pure espionage, isn't it, really?
So,
how horrible do you have to be as a person? Like, literally, like, this is the thing, because I'm a fairly sincere person. Like, how horrible do you have to be as a person to be able to go and literally learn an entire other language, which takes a lot of effort as an adult Hitler. It takes a lot of effort, right? You're gonna go learn an entire second language, learn about the cultural customs, and do such a bloody good job of it that you actually fit into the environment seamlessly. And then you're there dancing around in some like Tanzanian vest, right? And then you're literally going to go back to the UK and then go back and kill those. Like, that's actually so, like, to me, it's quite heartbreaking that the human condition is capable of such levels of deception, because I thought that I was like getting bullied by girls for being a simp, but like, that's nothing next to that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so sad.
Like, this is such a good time of knowledge and semi-freedom for certain countries. Like, I realize my privilege being here, and as much as shit does go here, for me right now, it's actually not that bad compared to what other people are going through. So I'm looking at the knowledge I can get here, and regardless of my biases and how I think, I want to be able to teach myself to put those biases aside so that I can help someone else.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying helping everyone. I'm talking about helping people that actually need bloody help. Like, people that actually need to see, like, look, all these rules that you're putting on yourself, sometimes you don't need those. Like, sometimes you don't need irrelevant things, like worrying about what someone's sexuality or what someone's religion or what's your problem. Like, you understand? Like, there's so much. But
maybe you could ask people that. Like, that would actually be an interesting question to open
that's
up with.
such a deep
Not in an aggressive,
right now.
not in an aggressive
Like,
way.
Yeah, I know.
What is your what? Oh, you could ask them in a nice way. Like, Well, by the way, what's your problem? Like, you never know, because if you actually ask someone that question, instead of like, how are you? I don't really care. Just say you're good. Like instead of saying that, like you could actually ask them, like.
But they might see you as condescending, though.
Probably.
Yeah.
But if they don't, then they know, and then you're instantly in.
The people I want to talk to, I want to go back to the townships, the villages, and actually, like, I want to talk to the older women there and be like, oh, mama, like, teach me some of the cultures.
Yeah.
Like, even with my mom, like, I keep telling her, like, and she does it. She keeps teaching me some of our cultures, so that, like, even like with respect, obviously there is respect that I can give to someone, but when someone starts demanding more than they should be getting, that's what we need to start teaching people, and that's the barriers that we need to start breaking. Like, yes, it's good to teach your child discipline, but don't teach your child fear. If not, your child will end up like
me, like a little beta male.
like a little simp, like. Unfortunately, like at the time there, they had to drill that into the kids. Like, look, you have to have this respect, this and that. You know, do this and this because you know Massa will be happy about that shit.
Who's Massa? You knew that question was coming.
If you don't know, you don't know. If you know, you know. So that's all
I've only heard two words from you and then from Iffy that I didn't understand. And the first one was beginning with L, that you said in the forest. Yeah, when we were in, you know, the Ponderosa Park.
Yeah.
There's an L word and then there's now the M word.
Well, ask Iffy. I can't remember shit.
So, no, you said Ludo.
Ludo?
Ludo.
It's a game.
Cluedo. Wait, what is it? Is it with a C or with an L?
L-U-D.
L-U-D.
L-U-D-O.
Ludo. Ludo. Ludo.
Deep in your voice.
Ludo. So what is
Ludo?
Ludo. What is
Ludo.
What is Ludo?
You're a lost cause. That's what it is. But yeah, if you know, you know. That's all. Clearly, you don't know.
No, you said something about getting your Ludo wet. I assume that it's either like something that you take in a shower or like a sexual item. Like could be like armbands for all I know. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know what word it is. Like that's the thing.
Ludo?
That's the thing with slangs for me. It comes out, and unfortunately, you know
that
when
guy's urinating, by the way.
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. That's with me with slangs. Like there's certain slangs that I remember as a kid, and I love my family, and I'm privileged, and I'm happy that I have that family. What is it called? Support. That I can have a conversation with my brother and my sister, and we still remember slangs as kids that we were saying, and it just reminds you, like, you know, like, yeah, you can always carry a piece of home with you, around, but it's always good to go back and, you know, read, what is it called, revitalize, that's the one, revitalize yourself, revirginize.
Regain your chastity for $9.99. Tickets to heaven on the site for an extra $2.57. At veganburgervirgin.com. Oh, what was the point? What was the name again? It was like Blast Lane at AOL or something.
It actually is Blast Lane Podcast at AOL.com.
There you go.
Do not email me because I'm not gonna email you back. I just made it for the fun of it. Please.
But you could sell tickets through that.
Oh shit! Yeah, email me if you want tickets to Blast Lane.
It's interesting how slang travels as well. Like that's what I always find interesting.
Like I like to meet like other like Nigerians. Like when you meet other Nigerians, like regardless of culture, I hope, to my experience, like if you say something, like sometimes, like even when you have the accent on and you start to talk, there are certain things that you say and they will know.
Yeah.
Or they have heard it before and they're like so in the groove and they say something and you've also heard it before and you're like, yeah bro, yeah. It's like, yeah, not like yeah bro, but like I'm not gonna start putting on the accent because I'm not around Nigeria. It only comes on when I'm like talking to other like Nigerians. Like it goes off when I'm around.
a lot of slang like comes like even back to the UK, and now you have like even like for example like white people and the Asian people use the same slang like black people use, which I find interesting how like all sort of merges together, because the people who came who are here like they have assimilated to a certain extent, but then there's still certain pronunciation like articulation of certain words, or like even the word selection, like the vocabulary selection, it might be different because there's different names. Like for example, I don't know which part, like what aspect of the Nigerian culture that is, but what the people I know, they have names that are like nouns, so like happiness, felicity, serendipity, all these sort of things.
There is no that is just a Nigerian thing. You wake up in the morning, your child. Okay, this is literally how like the Christians. I can only talk from the Christians. The rest is just rumor, and I don't want to put rumor out there. So this is rumors for the Christians. So it might be real, it might not. With the Christians, sometimes we like to name people some holy names. You know, you're reading the Bible, right? And you see righteousness.
Yeah.
And you're a righteous woman. You don't even let your husband have sex with you. You know, he comes in a cup and pours it inside. That's how virginized you are. Like no sex. So you name your child righteousness, because that child will be the most righteous kid. They will take after your virginized way. Yeah. Or it's like you see like success. That child will be successful, so I'll name it success. With us, name means a lot of things, because even in the Bible, and I'm pretty sure in other like spiritual religions, not even spiritual, just other religions, name means a lot. Your name means a lot. Like my mom will always say to me, like when she prays, she uses our name, because our names are prayers. Like Chidima means God is good. You know, Chidera, it means something, and she's told me a million times that I've forgotten. But like I remember mine, because she's like, whenever she's talking to me and she wants to motivate me or advise me, she's like, remember your name. It means God is good. So regardless of whatever your life is going, remember that God is good. It's like, for me, the concept of God is a little bit like hazy at the moment, but I think that's what holds me down. Like no matter what happened, everything is good. It's good because God is everything, isn't it? God is omnipresent, omnipotent. He's the be all and end all, so he's practically everything. So even within the suffering, everything is still good. As far as you still have life and you're still breathing, you have another chance. So keep going, kind of thing. And it motivates me as a person. I mean, some days it doesn't really do much, because I'm like, yeah, but it's still not good. But at the back of my mind, it's like something that I hold on to. So it's like, I think, especially with my culture, like with the Igbo culture, name means a lot for us. Like you see names like Ago is lion. So you name your child like a fierce animal. You know, you name your child words, like if you're going to use English words, you find like, let's say, a strong, like I remember someone named their child Lion of Judah.
Mate, what's that? Low J. Low J. Basically. Low J, that's how you have to call it.
Lil J.
How the hell would you
Lil J.
imagine getting that shouted out every time?
Lion of Judah.
Lion of Judah!
They just called him Judah, bro.
Judah.
But
Oh,
Judah.
okay. But not Lion of Judah.
But his mom will shout Lion of Judah.
So she every time she shouts him.
No, she's pissed. She'll give you, when your mom is pissed, she'll give you a full ass name, innit, that she gave
Lion
you.
of Judah.
Lion
How
of
dare
Judah.
you disobey me, Lion of Judah?
Am I not calling you Lion of Judah?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Or if, like, if you want to like if you want to big up someone and they're called Lion of Judah, like, bro, Lion of Judah, you're like,
I think names should be like nicknames in the way that they're formed. Like, you know how like a nickname isn't really something that like one person might have come up with it, but it kind of like coalesces. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of like, it's the compounding of interactions. So like you get defined by, like, say for example, like if I shit myself at the salsa event tonight, like the people there, they might come up with some name for that. Be like, you know, like Cacalones or something.
I get what you mean.
Like they come up with a name, and then after people identify me as that, it's based on a reality. Whereas the name, it's like, my name, I think, is like, it was some, I mean, it means a bunch of different things in different cultures. Obviously the old Arabic name, like Omar with the capital E, but it means a bunch of different things, but
Yeah.
none of those things could possibly be attributed to me when I was a mere spermatozoid or like in the ovaries. Do you know what I mean? Like when when I was not in the ovaries, in the womb. So like I think one thing was like some messenger at some point for like the Islamic origins, you know, like Prophet
Some
Muhammad
lineage.
and that sort of stuff. And then the other thing is like there's some like Jewish event as well,
Yeah.
and there's all sorts of like different correlations, but
Yeah.
none of them are really important because I wasn't there for any of them. Whereas if
Yeah.
I shit myself at the salsa event tonight, I'll be there for that. Do you know what I mean? So like I'll be present. So the nickname thereafter is based on on something that I did, which I like more because it's
Yeah.
kind of like it's a homage to your actual person.
Yeah.
Like for example, like people might know you as like if you go to jumping, they might know you as like springy legs or something.
Spirited away.
Or spirit of the way. Do you know what I mean? Like they might know you as like something that's specific.
Yeah.
Or even something foolish, like it could be something foolish, like, you know, maybe like you're a really tall person and they call you shorty or something.
I love that.
Do you know what I mean? Like, like shorty. Or
Tiny
like maybe
legs.
they call you like Big L or something because you're like a really skinny short person.
Yeah.
And your name's Lion Judah. But for example, so like all these different things, and all of those things are attributed to something that's existent there and then.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
my name like wasn't. I don't really see the point in having. Like nowadays, there's something going on with like in the US, I believe. I don't know. I've never been there, so I'm trying pure propaganda.
Yeah.
But like, there's in the podcast that I listened to, they talked about this like gender revealing, and they don't actually necessarily assign the baby a gender anymore because
Yeah.
they say like they'll let them grow up and then decide for themselves.
Yeah.
And some of the parents will obviously choose to decide the gender for the kid, others
Yeah.
won't decide. And to be honest, like, I don't know if I'm just like stupendously progressive, because I think that in the history books in the future, I actually honestly wholeheartedly believe that this generation that we're in right now, everyone will be seen as a villain. Like for the lack of action that I've taken to correct damage that me and the people and the people of the world have done, not just to the world but to each other. Like there's so much injustice that in the future we will literally be written as villains, and there's no two ways about it. But I don't think it
Yeah.
will even be like one race or like one culture or one type of people. I think it will be the entire Homo sapiens race will be put down as like these guys on the macrocosmic scale, but actually on the macrocosm, whatever the fuck you say to describe that, the bigger picture, we're like overall just so evil. Like the shit that we've done to each other is just so evil.
I think we're kind of paying for it though. Like even regardless of who you are, like we've sown. There's a lot of pain that has been sown, and seriously, I thought during the lockdown it will actually give some people's perspective, like majority of us, like a perspective. So
Yeah.
what is going on? But I mean, I think even with that, being self-aware is even a privilege at this point. Because
Voluntary mental health, mental well-being.
if your mental health is like tip top and you're like aware of what is
Yeah.
going on and you're taking the action, that is a privilege. Because there's some people that are self-aware, but they can't not take that step forward.
And they're unlucky, man. They're like we're
it's
lucky
just like-
to have that.
We are very lucky, and it's just like the whole everything is so sad. Because as much as we can keep debating and arguing and, you know, saying, oh yeah, but we're trying.
Are you really? Am I really? I'm not trying. I'm a loser, man. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying that no one is trying. I know people are trying. Everyone is trying their best.
Yeah.
Because with the information that we've been given, it's just a lot. You get what I mean? Especially like if you're heavily political or heavily like socially political, like it's just one issue after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. And then everyone wants you to check all those boxes and know all those shit. And that's why I say, just do what you can. Do what you like. Do what is directed at you. You understand? Okay. I'm female. I'm black. I have a bent leg. I would just say that. I have health issues and stuff, and I need to sort out my mental health and the way that I view myself. And then when I open the door, I see loads of people. When I go on social media, or even like when I talk to people, other people are going through their own shit. Okay. I could help everyone. I can keep on trying to insert myself in everyone's problem and help everyone. But that will not help me because I still have mental issue. I still have a broken leg. I am still a female and a black person going through that same issue with other people that are going through that issue. So I need to know how much I myself am spreading myself, because I can't spread myself too thin. I can't be there for everyone, and I have to be okay with that. And I cannot keep on criticizing myself for not helping everybody. So I need to, as much as I'm like, yeah, I can advise, I'll throw an advice. Most of the time, I even tell myself, dude, shut the fuck up. You're not in that situation. You should not be even advising.
Sometimes useful though. Like I'll say, like being reactive with it can be nice, because then obviously if people come to you to ask for advice and you give it to them, then you might help them, but in a reactive as opposed to like proactive way. But before I went to uni, to be honest, I never really like in terms of like the way that I saw people, it was very different, because it was only when I went to uni that I started becoming sexist and racist. So like, I'm sorry guys and girls and genre neutral people out there, but like I went to uni and literally like all the program, because I was home uneducated, and you know, God bless my mom, like she had 5 kids to raise, a single mom, and I fucking love you, mom, like you're an absolute constellation. And however, there's troubles that come with that, and I was not an easy child to look after. So again, I appreciate everything that she did for my grandma and my grandpa had done for me as well. But like, it's not easy, and because I was home uneducated, I just played on the computer, did them once, and then after a bit, like I literally said to my mum, because I realized that I was thick as shit, and I said to my mum, I was like, can I go to school, like just because she was trying to home teach us stuff. But I was always distracted, like running around doing all this stuff. I said, can I go to school? I think I'm dumb. And then she was just like, yeah. So she got back, she took me straight to the school, gave me the outfit, the uniform, whatever I needed to go there, equipped me up nicely, you know, sent me there. And then I went there. I got bullied like quick because I didn't have any social skills to navigate. So I just got bullied straight away. And I didn't really know how to navigate any of that stuff. And I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any like, my siblings weren't doing it. They're in different stages of life as well. So I was alone in the school, just getting bullied by people that I didn't have anyone to like lean into to be like, what should I do? Because if I asked the person next to me in the class, there was this one kid, like shout out D, man. It's funny actually, to be honest. Like hopefully he's living a nice life now and like, you know, helping his family and whatnot. But this kid literally was sat next to me and he just did, you know, like the clean arm sweep off the table. So like my pencils and pens and everything just went and just knocked all of them onto the floor. And I was like, bro, I can't react aggressively because I don't know how to. I can't react like intelligently because I don't really know what is appropriate in this situation. And so I was at one point, I was like tempted just to ask him, like, what do you want me to do? Like, you know, what do you actually, like, what is it that you are seeking from my attention on me?
I feel that.
And I didn't know what to do.
Inept.
So I couldn't judge people, because when I left that place, instantly going to school, instantly I could see the cliques and the groups. You know, like literally, like instantaneously, you could see. You see, like these are this group of people, these are this group of people, and literally, like I'd never been in prison, but I imagine it's like a prison courtyard.
Yeah, but to be honest, that's smart though. The fact that, like you were saying, you're always street smart.
But like, I'm not. It's just because I was never in it. Like it's obvious to me. You know, when you're not in something.
Yeah, but you always had that. What is it called? That instinct to look out for that.
It's because I didn't have any friends. So like when I saw like this
saying,
group,
like you didn't notice it at the time, or did you notice?
No,
it
I noticed it because like for example, walking in the park and it would be like, for example, you had like the Arab guys together.
Okay. And
then any like white ethnic people. So like for example, you might like okay, so let's say that there's like some Italian guys or whatever. And then like maybe you have like random odds. It's very rare in the UK anyways. But like most like Polish people, let's say.
Oh yeah.
So you got like the Polish people that are gonna like stick together. They have the same language, similar culture, blah blah blah. And then you got like then you got like the like white English black guys that are into like football, that sort of stuff, staying together. And then you might have like these like Muslim communities, and you might have like Somalian guys or whatever, and then you got like other like black people like West Africa, Caribbean or whatever, and all these different cliques of people. And I could see it because I wasn't a part of any of them yet. It's because I hadn't assimilated to any like group. Even though like if there was like half Turkish, half English community there, I hadn't found them yet. So I was just seeing every group, and this one kid was like kind of inviting me into the group in the form of like bullying, because it's like you can be in our group if you let us rip into you. And I was like, you can rip into me free of charge because I have no social skills and I'm a beta male, bitch. But then I ended up leaving because I wasn't learning anything. I was in the bottom set of every class. I wasn't learning jack. I was learning jack shit at the time. So they were jumping over the chairs in the class. So I was just like, well, I'm out. I'll go do parkour in the streets. Fuck this. And I remember like, I didn't have any prejudice then, because I hadn't had the chance to install the programs, the doctrines that get put onto the kids. So you know, in nursery, like you learn nursery rhymes. In Russia, like most of the Russian people I know, they have very specific like levels of patriotism, and I think a large part of it comes from the childhood stage, because Americans and Russians, they seem to have this thing about them where it's like, and arguably like Chinese people too, where there's like a level of indoctrination at a young age, and not necessarily for the worse, it could be for the better, but it results in this ideology being planted young. And because I didn't have any, it was like base zero. I didn't have the chance to separate people into groups, because like they had done that, but I wasn't a part of any of them. And then when I went to uni, I started noticing, you know, as people in uni are a bit older, like 18 plus, so you see the adult groups, and you see people forming friends and mixing together and interacting. And then because I was a bit older, a bit smarter, I started seeing like, oh, like I belong more to this group or to this group. And I even felt like an imposter going to the like international meetups, because I had you know, Damian, my Polish friend, he went to the international meetups, and he's so good at assimilating it. He just went boom into the groups, like with everyone, and I felt like an imposter. It's like, I'm an English guy going to these like international meetups, like I'm a Sigmund Freud. But then I couldn't interact with just the English guys either, because 99% of the English culture is drinking and football. And I despise both of those things more or less. So, I mean, I love football and I love getting drunk, but like, the getting drunk on an absolute novelty, like in a rare occasion, and the football playing it and not being a little simp that just sits behind the screen watching the light emit into your eyes, like actually moving your legs and risking tearing your ACL and fucking rupturing ligaments in your ankles to actually enjoy the game and get gratification, first person gratification, not second or third person gratification.
Feeling the ball like moving through your legs and you controlling it, like having that control with your legs, like it's beautiful. Like
uni fucked that up though for me, because it literally made me realize that then, like, oh, like I actually, you know, like without choice, people are assigned into specific groups, and then I started noticing patterns in like professors as well. You know, like in the professors, it's like, okay, there's these guys that have come from like either like a working class background or, you know, like a rich background, and their parents were like academic or had like this affluence. They got into that, and you see the like patterns forming. And I said, okay, like everything seems to be a pattern, like so along these things, like all these different patterns are there, and I will never get on with these people. Like I will never be able to access this level, this realm of social network that these people are part of, because I'm such a fucking like gay hippie. so you
just have to use, like you said, you found the community that best suited your way of life. And I'm not saying that people cannot join communities or anything, or people should just go and start joining communities. Take the time to learn the community that, or the culture that you're stepping into, like you said you did. Like, you know, you went to spend years abroad, and when you went abroad, you didn't just go to like the safe areas and the, you know, okay, these are areas that you should stay there ever go. No, you went out there, you met people, like you would go and parkour outside, meet people and just talk to them. Like, I like that. Like I am way too like on my guard, in the sense that I just don't want the fact that it might go south.
What do you mean? You mean like you might get bullied in the street, or
not like bullied, but it's like looked down on.
Okay.
Like there's a way that, like you said, like as a child, like even apart from school, I feel like with me it was from home.
Yeah.
There's a certain way that you carry yourself.
Yeah.
Like regardless even of what I do, there's still a certain standard that I do not.
Do you not like trying to push that though? Like
no, like I do try to push that, but there's a limit for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need to do it that way.
Yeah.
I can find a more comfortable way to do it. Even when I even exercise.
Yeah.
Like once I feel pain, I stop instantaneously.
Yeah.
I just like, I've always been that way. Like mentally, physically, anything. Like, I mean, there is pain, but there's just too much pain. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't overexert yourself all the time. Like
Yeah.
there's certain times that you can go that extra mile. Let's say in a relationship, again, people go like, yeah, go that extra mile. Yeah. But when the pain is all you can see,
yeah,
that is not healthy. It's the same thing physically. You know, if you're doing your parkour now and you hear a crack and you're like, yeah, just keep going.
Yeah.
And you keep going and the pain is there, and then you keep going, you're damaging something. You're hurting something. Like that's not a good pain. There's good pain and there's bad pain. We need to like learn that demarcation. I feel like with this generation, what we need to start doing is actually looking and commendation to all those people that are actually looking for solutions instead of calling out the problem. We've always called out the problems. Like in the 80s and 90s, they called out the problem. They did the protest. You know, we got a bit of something. All right, now we're like, okay, we know they're not gonna give us much. You know, it's come to the fact that now there's even like, what is it called? That fake allyship, false allyship, or whatever it's called now.
What do you mean?
Like when people are like, oh, BLM.
Oh, you mean when like it's commercial intent, basically?
Yeah. So it's like all those false things.
Activism for commercial
the fact
intent.
That people can say, "Oh, I will help you because it will benefit me," in the long run. Like it will benefit me even in the short run, not even in the long run. That just sucks, man. Like this is human beings actually doing it to other human beings in the most sadistic way, because at least back in the day, you knew who your enemy was because your enemy had a gun and was coming at you. Your enemy had a knife. Your enemy has chains. Your enemy was throwing you in a cell. You get what I mean? Nowadays, your enemy is the one that's telling you, yeah, I got your back.
But it's interesting though, because I think the power dynamic is going to shift. It's a large part of history. The power dynamic has, in a lot of cultures, been patriarchal in the hands of the men, because we have obviously naturally more physical strength. But I think it's interesting now because in the age of intelligence, like there are different levels, but I think that the playing ground is more equal, like between men and women on a cerebral level. Like maybe emotionally is different as well, hormonally is different. There's different physiological systems, but in terms of like what you can do with your mind, like it's pretty like there's a pretty good playing ground for both people. Like you could in a boxing match, you could train a woman to like fight a dude, but like your average girl versus your average guy, take them off the street, train them up. Probably the guy is generally gonna knock her out. But in terms of like in the intellectual playing field, which is becoming more and more important, like there's let's say you teach them both math for like 2 months, and they both come from a background of like me with no math, no GCSEs, then they might actually get similar scores. They might end up similar, like, in the same level of competition. Whereas not physically, it's different. And I think like as people are getting tired, like not even just like in the UK, in Sheffield, there's all these girls posting the things in the streets, you know, like oh, it's not safe, blah blah blah. But like if you go like Honduras or like somewhere like in America where people are actually getting caught up, or in a lot of countries where people are literally like women literally getting murked like for just no reason, and like that to me is insane. But the only way that can shift is through the power. And now in the age of intelligence, where like you said, manipulation is literally the biggest power now. Like Jeffy B is a handsome Beelzebub, but like at the end of the day, like his power isn't from his physical ability. Like Jeff Bezos isn't doing back handsprings and then kicking people's windows through. Like he's all in the power of tactics and strategy. So
you have to have your back, bro. Like even if you even see the rich, like I'm looking at the rich and I'm like, they only tackle issues, number one, that affects them. If that issue doesn't affect them, they won't chat shit. Like they won't say anything. And it's like, but why? Because you need to know. And I'm not saying it from a selfish point of view, and maybe some of them are doing it for selfish reasons, but I'm looking at that aspect and I'm saying, how can we implement that but for the greater good? You understand? Not just for my own happiness, but for the happiness of everyone else, or for the majority. You understand? Sorry to the minority if you're the minority at this point.
Hey.
But to the majority of people in whatever culture, in whatever country, or everything. I don't know how politics work or whatever shit works, but how can it be? To be honest, I won't even say for the majority. I want it for everyone. How do we implement this mindset and teach it to other people? You get what I mean? Like all this false allyship. Like instead of you posting, go BLM, whatever, don't post anything. Post what you care about. You understand? I'd rather you post what you care about than you post a false allyship, and then when someone that sees that is like, oh shit, has a conversation with you, and you're just like ignore it, or you're just like, I don't really know much about it, by the way. Then why did you post it? You look like a fool.
It's kind of sad though, because a large part of that comes from conforming, and then conforming to the trends as well.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, like even in some levels there, like I felt like like a Sigmund fraud as well,
Right.
because it's like, bro, like what am I gonna do with these things? Like for example, like some of my friends got bless them, they're trying to show support to people, whatever. And they did the thing on Instagram where they post like the Blackout Tuesday or whatever it was. I was like, bro, is that really an effort though? Like, no, I appreciate people trying to do good anyway, period. Like the intention there is the intention is trying to do good menstruation. Do you know what I mean? Like they're trying to do good, period, at the end of the day. But like, does that really change a lot of things in this world? Like if I post a selfie with the lens cap on.
When people change their Facebook profile to like
French flag or some shit.
Hashtag supporting, let's say, Syria or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they don't even do the work to even like read what is going on there, or like even understand what is going on there to actually help, or like join petitions or like charities that are helping, or anyway, what was I even saying? I forgot. It don't matter, because at the end of the day, this is probably just going to be another fraudulent attempt to educate people, and it will not go well. I mean, it will be another, what is it called? False allyship. So big ups to that.
I felt like a bit of a Sigmund fraud, so I tried to do something, to be fair. But then I tried to do something that didn't really do anything. It's like one of my friends invited me to there was like a series of them anyways in Sheffield. You know the BLM protests around the time of Floydie, and he asked me, do you want to come? And I felt like, to be honest, I wouldn't have gone like by myself, by my own initiative. Yeah. Because I just felt like a fraud standing there. Like I was like, I'm not really doing anything though by being here. But I appreciate that to some extent it shows like support. So I asked him, about it, and he said, yeah, it shows support. But then I asked a couple of my other friends, and it seemed like there was even not a clear consensus amongst my friends.
I really like, if you have energy, I think everyone follow your calling, bro. What's your strengths? You need to look at your strengths.
I'm a virgin.
You need to look at your
Do
strengths.
you think I actually helped anyone by going to the first BLM protest and standing there like a lemon?
Dude, I don't know. I'm not gonna say if it helps or not. For me, you won't catch me in a protest. Like right now, I don't think I have energy for that, because it's just, you're just there with people that will confirm your views. I want to be in spaces that I am talking to people that are challenging my views. You get what I mean? I want people to say, no, that's whack. And I'm like, okay, so if we're gonna talk about it, please actually like let's talk about it. You understand? Like, just don't shut me down, or don't be like, oh yeah, no. Okay, you'll say no, but why is it a no? Give me a reason. Give me a reason.
When I went to that event though, like the thing that I tried to do after the Avengers event, when I went to that event, they actually talked about some stuff. Like they said, for example, if you want to support, you can like support here. And I thought, like, I don't really have any money. Like I got for them my time. So I actually messaged one of the groups, like asking them if you need any. Because my idea was like, I parkour in the street all the time. I know that there's a lot of youth them in the street doing like, they get caught up in like bullshit. So I thought, okay, maybe I can actually go and teach them how to do PK stuff and like explore the area through that, and like maybe get creative with, because it's like graffiti is one way to get creative with your environment, and like skateboarding is, but so is crime. Like a lot of people don't realize that it's literally entertaining to be a criminal, because if you like, I've been chased by the police, and mate, like it is fun. Like literally running away from people is fun. Like it's a fun activity. So even purely for entertainment purposes, people will be willing to get involved with that. And I said, okay, like then you put on top of that there's actually like a financial motive, because if you're like shot in drugs or whatever, then you can get money for that too. So like there's some guy offering you money, security, social network, like camaraderie
Yeah.
and entertainment all in one, and you're not going to take that one. You'd have to be an idiot not to. So I figured, okay, I can offer them like my skills doing parkour or whatever, take these kids out and show them how to move. And I messaged the group and I said, like, you know, would that be of interest to you, that any of like, they don't even have to speak English. Like if someone has come in the, I don't know if it's a pejorative term, as my friend referred to him as a freshie, then I could take them outside and just be like, look bro, you don't even need to speak English.
Yeah.
I can just show you through movement how to use some obstacles.
Yeah.
And I never got a response. So I tried to message the FaceB group, I tried to call, and I still never got any response. I don't know why. So I don't know the deal was with that. But that was my intention to do something, because standing in the protest, I just felt like an idiot. I was like, well, I can shout whatever and support now, but as soon as I leave this place, my energy bar goes back to zero in terms of what it's doing to support people that I care about.
Like I know that it's all about mental, like your mental state. Like self-awareness start with your mental state. So I want to at least educate myself, like mentally. Like I want to do like courses, like especially like psychology, counseling, you know, what is it called, like being a life coach and stuff. Like I'm not saying I want to be a life coach, who knows, but I want all these avenues of engaging your mental health, because we're so focused on our physical form that we forget that our mental and our physical they work together. They have to be balanced for us to be a coherent and what is it called, productive human being. You understand? If you're stressed, you can't go into work. If you're physically hurt, you can't go into work. You get what I mean? So it's like if one part is lacking,
You'll be less productive.
Yeah. So it's like, how can we educate people better? I feel like it's mostly in education, and I know education is quite stagnant, but it's like finding a way to educate or provide services that can educate people that are willing to be educated.
Yeah.
I know, like, I feel like the next generation they won't be as fucked as we are, because they've grown up in this era of information.
Yeah.
I just pray that they utilize the information that they have and the information that's been put out there. I might be chatting shit half the time. I might be saying so many things that's contradictory to so many people's other view, which is fine.
Contradiction.
It's fine. As far as we can have this dialogue in a respectful way, I do not want to shut someone down. I don't want to shut someone down. I don't want someone to shut me down. I want you to have a dialogue with me so that I can see your point. I never understand the person's point of view, but the fact that I can actually listen to it and say, okay, how can I help you? Even though I don't understand what you're going through, even though I've never lived the life that you have, how can I help you with your issue? What do you need to progress as a person? You get what I mean? Well, obviously, I can't do it for everybody. My life is limited, so first come, first serve basis. That's how we're working. First come, first serve.
But the instrument that we have to influence the world, and I say this as a chump, as a funnel chump, is that like the instrument that we have immediate access to is our person. Like I want to create the most value. Surely it makes sense for me to create it through my own person. Because otherwise, like, I know it sounds egocentric, but like without that, there's nothing really, is there? Because if you're dysfunctionally trying to help people as a like if you had a fucking screwdriver where the screwdriver head was on backwards, and someone asked you to screw something into the wall, like how are you gonna do it? Like you'd literally just be trying to hit it, and it's not going to work. And for some reason, humans are so dumb that we don't seem to see that, like, if I try and help you, but I have like no food and I'm starving, dehydrated, like malnourished, and like all my priorities are fucked up, then like literally I'm helping you with a broken tool. Like I'm using a broken tool to try and achieve a task, and no matter how good the intention is, the tool is still damaged goods. And my tools are messed up at the moment.
Like, as much as shit is bad, I think rushing into it, like with everything, even when they say going into a fire, you can't just jump into the fire when you don't have the training. If you're going to go and rescue someone and you don't know what you're doing, but you're just running into the fire because for the sake of it, so you can be a hero, you die. You're not gonna come back out. Like, and that's the thing with life. You can't just throw yourself into the deep end and say, Jesus, take the wheel. He's not even gonna take the wheel.
But Jesus did power that fucking receiver though for like 2 hours.
He actually did. I believe religion is there to guide you. It's not there as a supplement. But the thing is that we've used religion as a gateway drug. The Bible is written in such a poetic way. You can read into it. You can read into it in so many ways. Like I've read the Bible over and over, and every time I read it,
Do you resonate with it?
Yes, in a way that I see as a way of like guidance in how to be a good moral person. Like moral, like what are the things that I would not want someone to do to me?
Yeah.
You understand? Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Please don't steal from me. Please don't murder me. So I won't do that to you. Hopefully you will not do that to me. So I'm trying to put out good energy. If it comes back, it comes back. Please let it come back. But if it doesn't come back, I will not still go and murder someone.
Speaking of murdering someone, you know what I want to murder right now? Because literally, like, how long have we been recording? This has been like 2 hours of recordings.
Yeah, but I was recording the setup, so it's like...
But you know what happened though? You know what happened? Like, literally, like, this shit has been recording through lavalier Dave Lapel mics for like the last 2 hours. And then Juan called me, and I couldn't answer the call because it would interrupt the recording. But I just left it to ring, and it just destroyed the recording. Juan, vos sos un culiadísimo, un culero guapito que te chúpame la verga. So let's see. I don't know if you can.
Why are people mad today? All these drivers, it's like they woke up, they sniffed something, and they just took to the road to annoy everyone. How many languages can you speak?
Me?
Oh, can you?
Just 2, man. Just 2. I'm trying to learn Turkish. Like every day, I try and do a bit with my family. Like I message my auntie, I message my cousin and his wife, and then I message my other cousin, and that's basically 4 people. I just message them. When I go to Turkey, I'll have a base then.
Yeah.
Because right now, like with Spanish, I had a tiny bit of a base before going to Spain. But the main thing is just consistency. It doesn't matter what country you're in. The main thing is consistency, exposure. Like in Sheffield, I've had more exposure to Spanish speakers than I have when I was in Spain.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want me to speak Spanish to them. Like the people there that were learning English wanted me to speak English to them.
Yeah.
And the people that weren't learning English didn't really have much patience for me speaking shitty Spanish. So here I've actually had a way better reception in Spanish. And so I've been able to get further with it. But I think in Turkey, I think they'll be a bit more welcoming because it's a bit more of a niche language.
Yeah.
And there's probably less people speaking English. I feel like in Turkey they'll probably welcome me a bit more. So like, oh, you're making an effort to learn this language that is actually pretty useless. So like, if you make an effort to learn a language that's useless, it shows that you really care about the language and not just getting something from it, I think. Because with Turkish, there's like Turkmenistan, there's Azerbaijan, there's Turkey. I think that's it. There might be like a couple other places. It's a weird one actually, because one of them countries that's like Islamic but without, you know, Arabic, kind of like Pakistan as well, as like Muslim Pakistani people, but you know, it's a weird one because again you see them segregations in the group. Like I think Turkish community is its own community because then you have like the Arabs, but the Arabs is like such a big group of people. Like it could be someone from like Sudan, you know, like Libya, Lebanon, whatever. Like anyone from like Northeast Africa, basically, or North Africa, Moroccan, Algerian, etc. And then you have all the people
Do they
like, the
speak
Middle
their
East
own
as well.
language, or do they speak Arabic, or do they speak their language and Arabic?
I don't even know because I've never been, but like I think in terms of like the people that I do know, a lot of them have native Arabic.
Yeah.
And then there's some countries where they have like in Morocco they have colonial French, obviously, like Algeria too.
Yeah.
But then Arabic is like the main language. That's like the.
All they said don't even know. They said don't
Some of the countries I don't think they really do much French anymore.
Yeah.
Because it is like a colonial thing, isn't it? I mean, I guess Arabic is at some point. Like, who the fuck knows? Like, if people that were native to the land, like, a long time ago, like, let's be honest, like, most of these languages are spread through religion. Like, English is spread through religion. Spanish is spread through like, literally most of the Spanish speakers are in the lands that were conquered by the Europeans. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you go to, like, if take for my friends from Mexico, Argentina, Colombia, whatever,
Brazil's Portuguese.
All those places were, and Portugal was actually like the biggest, like, initial form of like colonialism, like slavery, etc. And then everyone was jumping on the bandwagon, and like South America, like
I think that's the trend, isn't it? One person starts something, it's going well, everyone's like, you know what, we're gonna do it, regardless of the moral, what is it called, consequence of it. They don't care as far as it brings money. So that's why I said money is the root of all evil. Period.
There's all them other countries as well, like in I think it's like central or like east of Americas, which is like, you know, you have like Guyana, there's like French Guyana, there's some like Suriname or something, and then there's some place where they speak like Dutch as well. So it's like all the colonies that just got about doing bits, and then I think like the original colonizers of some point, like probably just might get assassinated, but like the original colonizers at some point must have been like, realistically, it's just like I if you go back far enough, because think about like everyone has their own, like in all the countries there's like the native people, they have like the folklore, the ancient religion, the old like tribal languages, if you will, and then it goes back. Okay, then Christianity comes about. Where did Christianity come from? Like, where is Christianity coming from? Do you know what I mean? Like, where is this concept of this dude with a cute beard on some cross or whatever, like laid out? And where is he coming from? And it's always depicted looking very similar as well. And then they change his appearance.
Cute beard, he says.
Different cultures have a different appearance for the different Buddha, for Jesus, etc., etc. And so like, it's a concept that's like widely transferred. And where does it come from? Like, let's try Yandex Trans.
Why do I have that dimple there? Does that mean I'm tired? Am I getting old? Am I getting old?
No, like if you're in like Ivory Coast, how is it possible being that far away from like, let's say Canada? How is it possible that you could even have remotely the same culture? Like someone had Facebook before Facebook was about. Is all I'm saying.
No, I get what you're saying. I used to be heavily like into the word, like reading the Bible, following the teachings, everything. So I do understand where people come from when they're fully passionate about it, and it is the be all and end all. However, I haven't looked into it that much because I think it gives me that dopamine that I need sometimes to just stay sane. And I feel like deconstructing the religion itself, I know there's some loopholes, I've even asked myself that question, even with religions in general, but I'm just like, look, it's not my fight to fight in. Like, that's a problem that is not mine to fight. I took myself out of the game in that way, and I said, I know what I can take from the religion that brings me peace. The rest, it's not my fight. There are people fighting that fight, and I support them. Keep fighting that fight, but I don't know much on it to make a coherent argument that will be substantial in the court of law. So I plead the fifth.
The fifth?
And the sixth. And the seventh.
Can I plead the forehead? I think we need to go, by the way.
Exactly. This noise is
and that
annoying.
Sounds awful.
Whoever did this hates their mother.
I'm gonna put it into my pocket, and then I might just put it there.
Where are you gonna put it?
In my pocket. But you can clip this to something. Remember, clip it to, you can do this. Like Grace.
You do parkour. How can't you do this? What's going on? Is it your knees again? Should we call your physiotherapist?
I think my foot isn't as high as my nose right now.
You're really struggling. You're a professional b-boy and parkour artist.
I'm not a proper, I'm a b-babe and a voluntary parkour.
You beat. Pull it up. Ah, shit, my knees.
and try and finesse that game again.
I this one trying to.
Be a voluntary parkour athlete.
I'm trying not to land on this leg. Do you see that? Whew. Gang, 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 gang. See? We made it. We made it through. We made it. We made it through. We made it through.
No.
It's better this way. Cause if I can get more of it, I'm so particular about making it symmetrical. I got issues. I know.
But it's not even just about aesthetics. It's like literally like my head being in this position is less comfortable than as I was sat before. So I might have to be ignoramus. It's what I was saying. If we got the headphones, what we could do is we could direct monitor it, and it could literally sit like we could sit like back to back basically, and you know like. You can look at the camera, you can look wherever you want, and there's no stress or like tension in the sternocleidomastoid muscle groups. Do you know, it's like right now my sternocleidomastoid is like is feeling the tension, man. I think that's what it's called, like the muscle from your like mastoid muscles down to your neck. It's like when you tense, you know, like if you do that, you feel it.
Yeah.
You're like,
is that what it's called, man? What is it called?
Sternocleidomastoid.
That sounds like a T-Rex.
Because basically, like your sternum is that bit, isn't it?
Yeah. Is that connected?
Clydo, I don't know where the Clydo comes from.
Clydo is the connection. It means connection. Sternum connection to your ignoramus.
To the mastoid.
So the mouth.
No, I think
throat.
Is that the no? That's the mandible. Shit. What is the mastoid then?
The fuck
That's
is
the mastoid.
He's asking the wrong, so.
Okay, we need to Google. We need Alexa to tell me what a mastoid is.
Google.
Imagine if it actually stops the body now on your phone and then just started googling that shit. But
I was gonna go to my pocket, but I realized